What's poppin', y'all? I'm here to talk about the buffs and changes I've made for Pikachu, Raichu, and Alolan Raichu. So if you're new here, shout out to you. I do appreciate you clicking on the video, y'all. Make sure y'all check out my other videos when you're done with this one. But the most important thing, if you're a new viewer, is to pause the video and read the description. I've got a bullet point list that'll kind of give you all the background context of this ROM hack and the way I'm balancing it. It'll just answer a lot of the questions you might have by looking at this kind of thing. So definitely make sure you do that. When you're done with the video, you can also check out all my other videos and check out the Google Sheet link down below. So if you look on screen, I've got a Google Sheet that organizes all the moves into categories. And honestly, the best way to go about it if you're looking at it for the first time is just to scroll in order, because I have everything like written out and it's all ordered, and it's very easy to just scroll and understand like what the categories are, right? Like you can see on screen, it's all organized. So yeah. With all that being said, though, Pikachu, Raichu, Alolan Raichu. So in this ROM hack, any branched evolution like this, I always put a lot of extra thought and care into making them like worth using over one another, if that makes sense. So none of them is better than the other objectively. Pikachu isn't better than Raichu. Raichu isn't better than Pikachu. Alolan Raichu isn't better than Pikachu, etc. It's all up to your personal preference, your play style. Which is, honestly, I would always just pick the one you like the most. That's kind of the spirit of the ROM hack, right? You're supposed to be able to use whatever Pokemon you want, because every Pokemon has really cool, fun new tools and is super versatile and can do all sorts of things, and you have all sorts of tools available to you at all times, right? So really, I would just pick which of them is your favorite. Or, if you already have like a psychic type, for example, you might not want to throw on like, I don't know, not that type overlap is the biggest deal. In fact, Psychic Surge can actually support your other psychic types, but you get the point. It's really up to whatever one you prefer. If you need like a ground immunity, for example, and you don't have any on your team and you're playing Teamlocked, then maybe it's best to evolve into a Alolan. If you have like not a lot of speed control and you want to have fake speed, then you can go for Pikachu. If you want something that's just super versatile overall, you can use for Raichu, whatever. It's really up to you. Speaking of, so if you read this little text below, because I know some people, some people are gonna look at this and be like, "Oh my God, Pikachu is stronger than Raichu. Why would you ever take Raichu?" Because people don't fucking like think. I'm sure most of you watching this aren't that type of person, but for that one person who's watching this who does think this, if you do the math, so if you do the math out, Light Ball Pikachu is stronger than Raichu with the Instinct boost. So, Instinct gives you is download, right? So it gives you +1 attack or special attack. So it is slightly stronger if you do the math. However, the big thing there is that Pikachu has to hold the Light Ball to get that damage. Raichu can hold literally whatever item it wants, any item, which is insane in a ROM hack. In a ROM hack where difficulty is balanced in the way it is, and your Pokemon are supposed to be like changing sets constantly, being restricted to one item, while it is good, especially once you get E-Speed, Fake Speed is super, super strong. But Pikachu is much less versatile than Raichu, is my point. Raichu can do all sorts of things because of that item slot. You can use it defensively if you need to. You can use it even just like simple Focus Sash. Or, for example, Life Orb Raichu is stronger than Pikachu. Or Choice Scarf Raichu is much faster than Pikachu while not being that much weaker. Not to mention, like, it's not like it's weak. I mean, 90, 110 with +1 is incredibly powerful. Both of them are very, very strong. And Alolan Raichu is also very strong with Psychic Surge. So all three of them are very strong in terms of damage output. Technically, Alolan is the weakest in terms of raw damage output because Raichu has the 110 with the +1.5, while Alolan only has 1.3 multiplier. So if you're going in terms of raw damage, then technically Alolan is the weakest, but that's not really a fair comparison at all, as you guys know, of course, because it also has Levitate and a different typing, different resistances, different attributes, also different moves, like, for example, Hypnosis and all these other moves, psychic moves in general that the others don't get, right? The only psychic moves the other ones get is Send Headbutt, so, which is a good coverage move, to be fair. It's 95 power, 100% accurate. But anyway, yeah, Pikachu, Raichu, both very, very strong. One is not better than the other, is my point here. The speed is very trivial. Honestly, like 120, 125, 130 seems like a big difference in a competitive setting, and it is. But in-game, you're not guaranteed a plus speed nature, and you're only getting 20 speed IVs on your Pokemon anyways, so you're not outspeeding the AI. Like, your Pikachu is never going to outspeed AI's 120 base speed Pokemon, even if you get a lucky plus speed nature Pikachu. If you didn't get plus speed, I mean, again, you still have that fake out E-speed stuff, or earlier on you have fake out quick attack galvanize with Light Ball. I mean, that's all really strong. Keep in mind, you won't get Light Ball until like the mid 30s anyways, by the way. Probably not until like level 30 at the earliest is when you get Light Ball. But yeah, man, Pikachu very strong, but of course can't use any defensive items, so you have to like be careful when you try to switch it in. Of course, Lightning Rod gives you more switch-in opportunities and also gives you a +1 boost, which is really, really strong. Galvanize is incredible. So if you read this little bottom text here, you've got Hyper Beam and Giga Impact, which are 180 base power Draco Meteor variants. Double Edge, which is 150 base power with Galvanize. Fake Out is 48 base power with Galvanize. Quick Attack and Swift are 54 base power with Galvanize, and they're both priority. Extreme Speed is 96 power with Galvanize. Body Slam, Hyper Voice, Retaliate are 114 and 120 power. Consistent, like drawback-free options. So those are all really good with Galvanize. Galvanize is really fun. Whiplash as well. Whiplash drops defense by -1. And it's 90 power, question mark? I change it a bunch from Sweltering, so sometimes I forget. Yeah, it's 90, so it's slightly weaker than Body Slam, but it drops defense. Yeah, it's really up to you which ones you prefer, man. If you like Fake Out Extreme Speed spam, you can keep Pikachu. You get E-Speed pretty early on level 50, which is pretty reasonable. Also, keep in mind, Raichu can still abuse E-Speed. It's just not going to be a stab with Galvanize, unless you got Terra Normal. If you got Terra Normal, then Instinct Fake Speed with Terra Normal goes fucking crazy on Raichu. I would totally evolve into Raichu if I got Terra Normal, just because that's so fun. But yeah, Pikachu Fake Speed's really good. Also, like, keep in mind, Raichu can hold Choice Scarf, so its speed is much less burdensome, right? Like, the fact that you're not outspeeding the AI isn't as big a deal when you can just slap on a Choice Scarf or a Quick Claw for a specific boss fight to outspeed. Pikachu can't do that. So while it is stronger, and also Life Orb Raichu is stronger than Pikachu, by the way. I would say the main draw of Pikachu is that Galvanize. Otherwise, I mean, the other stuff is still there, like Terravolt bypassing Sturdy, Multiscale, stuff like that. You know, it was good. Definitely useful. It's not the most consistent option, but it's definitely there for, you know, that's why you have 3 ability slots, right? You can switch between them. So for Pikachu, you're using Galvanize. Occasionally you'll swap to Lightning Rod when you need the immunity because you are frail, and also it gives you a free boost. And then Terravolt, you know, is just good for cheesing occasional sturdy multi-scale stuff. Or even like Lightning Rod, Volt Absorb type stuff. Pichu's fine for the early game. It evolves very early on, but it's got good stats for that point in the game. It's fast, it's got relatively fast, it's got good special attack, good Galvanize options, good move pool, you know, Wish, all this good support stuff. Nuzzle drops attack and special attack and paralyzes. Parabolic Charge heals you a bunch. Parabolic Charge essentially heals you like Draining Kiss HP, and it's 60 base power. You also get actual Draining Kiss, you get Shockwave for priority, all types of fun stuff, right? Spark for priority. So Raichu still has priority, by the way. Like, Raichu can still do Spark and E-Speed and all this stuff. It just doesn't get that stab without the Terra on E-Speed or Fake Out. And Terra, you can't pick your Terra type in this game. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be RNGing your Terra type, so there's only a 1 in... If you're excluding Electric, you're only getting a 1 in 17 chance. And Stellar, right? No Stellar, no Electric for Raichu, so you're getting a 1 in 17 chance to get Terra Normal. But yeah, any Terra type is good and fun to use, so... yeah, and the low on Raichu, I mean, Levitate's great. Psychic Surge is strong, so you're basically picking between Psychic or Electric Surge. So you have to keep in mind that Terrain has utility as well, right? Not only does it have utility to support your team, for example, every special attacker in this game gets Terrain Pulse. So if you have Psychic or Electric Surge, then every single special attacker on your team has access to a Psychic or Electric move, which is really good. You can also do like Electric Seed or Psychic Seed. You can do, for example, the main thing I would say with Psychic Surge is that it makes you immune to priority. So Alolan Raichu was a lot more utility oriented, I guess, than the other two, which might not seem obvious looking at the stat spread and the abilities, but Levitate gives you immunity, and then Psychic Surge also gives you immunity because you're immune to priority, which is a really strong thing that the AI might have used, you know, once in a while. So being able to completely stonewall priority on the AI is also very useful. You can either abuse that yourself with like agility stuff or, I don't know, nasty plot stuff, or you can just switch out with Volt Switch or Baton Pass or U-Turn and then abuse the Psychic Surge with somebody else. And then, of course, both the terrain abilities have the benefit of overlapping or overriding other terrain. So for example, if there's a boss that has Psychic Surge, you can switch in your Raichu, get the Electric Surge off. If there's a boss that has Electric Surge, you can switch in your Alolan Raichu, get the Psychic Surge, you know, Grassy Surge, whatever. You can override those terrains. So that's all really fun. So yeah, the evolutions are much more versatile. Pikachu is much more straightforward in terms of how it plays, and it is very strong. Like it's very, very good. I mean, Fake Out E-Speed, it's not as broken as it is in Sweltering Sun, because in Sweltering Sun the eject button is permanent for the whole battle, but in this game it's back to how it normally works, where it's single use per battle. So you're not getting free pivots as much anymore, but even then, switching around is still relatively easy. You know, Pokemon, a lot of them have switch moves. You can still like slow pivot in and out into your Pikachu and get kills. It's just less brainless. And in Sweltering, it's literally like, oh my god. I would say in Sweltering, Pikachu is like, I wouldn't say better, but it's definitely easier to use in Sweltering than the other evolutions because you can just eject button, Fake Out E-Speed everything to death. Not to mention, I think I gave it E-Speed pretty early on in Sweltering, which it doesn't get as early anymore in this game. Although level 50, if you look at the boss fight guide, is definitely still a really good level. Other stuff, like, for example, Electric Surge, Zap Cannon. So speaking of like the Hyper Beam, Giga Impact, right, you might be thinking, those are really high base power moves. That's another advantage for Pikachu, but Raichu also has Zap Cannon in Electric Terrain, Electro Assault in Electric Terrain. I also give them physical moves earlier on. just to encourage a lower physical attack stat. But the thing is, with move relearner and all these coverage options, you're going to be switching between physical and special constantly anyways, depending on what you need to hit super effectively, depending on all these other factors. So it's really up to you what you're running. It's up to the situation, really, because your Pokemon are supposed to be flexible, switching around constantly. So that's another disadvantage of Alolan Raichu, is it's not a mixed attacker anymore. I mean, technically, you can still get some kills with your physical attack at 80, which isn't, like, bad. But there's no boosting ability outside of Psychic Surge, so definitely not the best. Meanwhile, the other two have, you know, Galvanize, incredibly high offensive stats with Instinct or Light Ball. So, yeah. Even Electric Surge physical is good. So, yeah, it's pretty much it. I think I need to talk about some other small utility stuff, which, I don't know, I trust you guys can look into that on your own, like Befriend and Charm and Recharge and Wish and all, you know, other stuff like that. Also, Electroshot's really strong if you do get like a good Speed Nature Raichu or Alolan Raichu, because it gives you +1 special attack and get you a free kill with Power Herb. Or if you want to run it in Rain, you can do like some Surf shenanigans in Rain with yeah, Surf is the same power as Weather Ball, by the way, now. But yeah, Surf or Aqua Tail even, I don't know. Thunder, Electroshot, Surf. Keep in mind, Electroshot's only 1 PP though, so you can't like spam it in Rain or anything. That'd be pretty crazy with like Choice Scarf in Rain or something. That's the balancing for all electric types that get Electroshot. It's a one-time use thing. Yeah, it's basically it. Alolan Raichu also has other strong like nuking moves. You know, it still gets the good old like Volt Tackle, Zap Cannon, all that stuff, right? It still gets all that good stuff, but it doesn't. It also gets Cycle Boost and Expanding Force in Terrain, which is really strong. Electro Ball is really good on all three of these guys. Electro Ball gives you +1 speed each time you click it. So these guys are already pretty fast, right? So if you get +1 speed, you're getting a really high base power Electro Ball, and you're outspeeding everything, and you can use your coverage moves to kill other things. So very, very, very strong there. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'll be back for more coming up, y'all. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Yeah, I'll be back for more. Make sure y'all drop a like, drop a comment. If you made it to the end, helps me, you know, helps with the algorithm and stuff. Peace, y'all.